multi-platinum, Grammy-nominated Meduza. Matt, welcome to America's Dance 30.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I see you shaking your head when I'm talking about that. Is it still weird hearing multi-platinum and Grammy-nominated? Because I know you guys have only really been doing it as Meduza for what, like 4 years now?
Yeah, it's 4 years of the project, and then it's still multi-platinum. It's still multi-diamonds, multi-gold. So it's going really well, to be honest.
I would say so. And congratulations on another number one. Now, is this your second or third number one on the dance charts?
It's the fourth in a row.
Fourth in a Excuse me. How dare I think that Meduza only had two or three?
I just want to be humble, but yeah, it's 4 singles and 4 number one.
Congratulations. That is so amazing.
I mean, it's because of the people and all the fans out there in the US. So I just have to thank them for this.
Well, before we talk all things Tell It to My Heart, let's get to know Meduza a little better with a feature called Finky's Favorites. Now, before we get deeper into Meduza, where did the name Meduza come from?
It's a funny name. The name it's coming from basically we are 3 in the group. Me, Matt, then there's Simon and Luke, and it was the initial letter of every name. But the Simon was with the S, but there was another Meduza with the S in the dance music, so we decided to turn it into the Z, and it was pretty much like that the name. Then we built up a kind of brand around that. You know, Italians in the US are famous or not only for the music but also for the fashion, the brands like Versace, for example. So we started to wearing a kind of Versace style shirt during the live show to be recognizable as Italian. So we bring in the Italian music and the Italian brand to the US again, and then it's just to be proud of the country.
Now, when you, Luke, and Simon were coming up with the name Meduza, were there any other favorites that you were going to go with instead?
To be honest, no. It was the first name in our mind, and then we didn't have time to think about few options because we talked with the management and they said you guys have just literally half of a day to choose the name of the project. So it was like, okay, this is the only one.
So Meduza is born.
That's it.
What is your favorite Meduza song?
I really love Paradise because it came in a special moment of our lives, and it was when the pandemic happened, and we were in the US before they closed the borders. It was March, and I remember I was far from home, and we had this song on the folder. It was only a demo we wrote in London 2-3 months before the lockdown. And I remember it was there was something in that, and also in the lyric we talk about the distance we have from each other. So in that moment, especially during a pandemic time, I was far from the family, from the girlfriend, from friends. So the meaning was really something for me, and that's why probably I really love that one. I love all the tracks we made, but that is in particular is my favorite one.
And it's such an amazing song. Now, speaking of the beginning of the pandemic, since this is the first time we're chatting, what was the first Meduza show back?
It was in Orlando, I remember. And then I still remember I was outside of the club, and then usually we entered from the back door behind the stage. And I remember hearing the noise of the bass sound again outside of the club after 1 year and a half at home, and it was like a noise like, and it was such a good feeling, and I was excited and nervous at the same time. So that's why I went on the stage, and then I remember for the first two tracks I was wearing the mask because of all of the restriction and stuff like that. But then I was alone on the stage, and then after the second track, I said, okay, I'm took the mask off, and then I'm just playing and feel it like it is. So just feeling the vibe, and it was amazing. It was an amazing show.
It had to feel good being back. As you mentioned, you're going to be back in the States. You're doing a lot of shows right now. You're going to be doing Lollapalooza Stockholm coming up in July, which is massive. Do you have a favorite DJ that you like to check out when you're at festivals and pretty much everybody is playing?
My personal one is Eric Priest, and I have another one that is Solomon. They both progressive techno melodic line, and every time I go to a festival, I usually try to find a free time to go on the backstage and trying to see their sets and then what they gonna play in their live show, just to take some secrets, just some stuff to to steal and do in our shows. But yeah, they both my favorites.
But the tough thing about that is with Eric Prydz, the best part of his shows is being in front of stage and seeing all the lasers and the light show at those shows.
That's right. But with the pandemic thing, it's been bit hard to go and say I was not allowed to do that because I was with the manager on every show, and then like saying, if you go in the crowd, then you cannot do the other shows. So stay here.
So you're like, okay, I'm good. Makes sense. Totally cool with it.
No problem.
Now, Matt, Meduza has some very passionate fans. Do you have a favorite moment of meeting some of the fans?
I remember one special moment. It was before the pandemic, and I was playing Green Ballet in Brazil. It was the carnival in Brazil, so it was a special moment for them too. And I was there, and like in the middle of 14,000 people just for a show, and then it was an incredible feeling, because I remember Brazilian people, what they have is different. Like it feels like they have the music inside. So no matter what you play, they just start dancing and start enjoying every kind of music you're playing. So they just following the vibe you play them, and then it's an amazing thing, and it's probably it's the only country in the world to have that. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Americans, Europeans are amazing, but Brazilian for the music, they got something different in them.
Now, finally, in Finky's favorites, Matt, I want you to tell me what your favorite thing is about Simon and Luke.
I really love the way they think about the music, like the way they write the music. Every time we go into the studio, there's no specific role for everyone. Like I do the music, or I do the idea, or I do the arrangement. It's more a thing like I lived this experience, and then meanwhile I was doing that, I was thinking about this melody. So it's a real thing, it's a real part of your life that you're explaining to the rest of the team, and it's an amazing thing, because you're talking about something personal in the studio. You create a kind of magic, and I love the way they write the music like that.
Now, with three of you guys, is there ever butting heads with what direction a song is going to go?
Oh, we argue every day in the studio. Every minute, and it's crazy. But the good thing of this is that we are three. So every time we all agree on the same thing, we know it's the right one. So this happened with Piece of Your Heart, with Lose Control, with Paradise, and last one with Tell It to My Heart. So I think it works. That I can say that it works.
Who's got the final say?
Oh, the label.
That's too funny. Now, congratulations on Tell It to My Heart with Hozier going #1. Take us through the process of how the song was born. I know one of my good friends, Sam Gray, actually helped write it as well.
Yeah, we wrote the track with him and his partner Neil. And then they sent us the top line, and we decided it was great. It was a great feeling. And so we decided to close the writing with and the top line with them, and sharing this with Hozier, that he changed some parts in the lyrics. And then we all created together in the studio the backing track. It was a simple process. Obviously, everything was natural. When you have a big top line like that, and a big artist like Hozier, and a big team like Sam, Neil, everything is easy. Then we had Tell It to My Heart.
I know that with Piece of Your Heart, you said that it kind of came quickly. Like it was like 10 minutes in the studio with Good Boys. With this being so many different people involved, how long was the entire process?
Every time is different. Since Piece of Your Heart, the pressure we had from the people, from everyone's, it was bigger and bigger every time. Like they expected every time something more, something better, and something bigger. But music is not like I do hit after hit and it's gonna be every time the same thing. Music is more like telling a story of yourself, of your career, of your project, and then of your own life. So sometimes you can release something more commercial like Piece of Your Heart, and it can happen in 10 minutes. Sometimes you can do something like Paradise that it took like a year and a half.
Wow.
to be finished. So, and it was more a personal thing. It's been a more long process. So music is like that. It's beautiful because it's not just a rule. I know how to do the hit and I'm gonna be number one.
Do you remember how many versions there were of Tell It to My Heart from the beginning to the end?
Like kind of 10. No,
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not bad. I mean, like with Paradise, we touched like 40 or 50 versions. So I know I told you it was different, but yeah, at the end, the right one. For a producer mind, every time, also when you release a song, every time you find something to change in the track. But sometimes you need someone to stop you and say, "This is okay. Don't worry about that."
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on Tell It to My Heart going number one. What is next for Meduza?
Absolutely coming back to the US, playing in our residency in Vegas, and playing in some shows around the US. And then working on the new single. We're still working on the new single, trying to release that by the music conference in Miami, or probably before the summer. And then we're working on a lot of club music just to play in our shows. And the most important thing in this year, I think, is going to be the building of the live show. We're going to be on the stage, all three of us together. So it's going to be separate from the DJ set, and it's going to be a proper electronic live show, like with keyboards, with racks and Moog and stuff like that. And probably the first show is going to be in April in the US.
Very cool. I can't wait to see the live show. I mean, it's really awesome. I think one of the first live shows I ever saw, and this is going back, but I want to say it was Uberzone. I don't know if you know who Uberzone was.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, they were the first live show I ever saw, and my mind was blown. Seeing live drums doing the build-up, I was like, what is happening right now?
Right, yeah. We're trying to kind of do craftwork thing, giving back to the people some of the kind of vibes from the 80s, but more electronic, but analogs and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, I can't wait to see it. Matt, I know you've been insanely busy. I appreciate your time hopping on with us here. Thank you for being with us on America's Dance 30.
Oh, you're always welcome. And thanks for your support and for having me today.